Greetings and welcome to the weekly edition of the Safe Crypto Show. I am your host, Tyler Jordan, with co-hosts Mike and Jason. Each episode attempts to cover a range of topics, beginning with a global market cap review and a look at the past week's movers and shakers. Next, a discussion of general crypto news and happenings. Then we consider new and interesting projects and ICOs, all followed by a brief discussion of the weekly tech update by MadeSafe. Let's get started with the show. Safe Crypto Show disclaimer. Please keep in mind at all times that we, the hosts and guests of the Safe Crypto Show, are not offering or giving investment advice. We only state our personal opinions and thoughts on our own interests. By watching, you agree to not hold us responsible for any losses you may incur by executing trades or by maintaining holds based upon the subjects discussed in our episodes. It is Friday, the 3rd of August, 2018. Today I'm joined by my co-host Mike. So let's begin. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining the show today.
Glad to be here once again.
So as usual, we're going to start with the weekly roundup. We've got the top 100 here open on CoinMarketCap. Just have a quick look around what's going on. Bitcoin number 1, number 2 Ethereum, number 3 XRP, that'd be Ripple, number 4 Bitcoin Cash, number 5 EOS, 6 Stellar, 7 Litecoin, 8 Cardano, 9 IOTA, 10 Tether. So we've got had a bit of activity. Litecoin had a huge kind of weird bump in the middle of the week. Some Litecoin's looking rather odd with its volume lately. And yes, overall we're going a bit bearish the last few days. It's unfortunate. We'd made such nice gains last week, and now we're back into the bear territory. Let's have a look at the global charts. See, at the beginning of the week, we were at 297.6 billion, and we're ending down at 267.5 billion. So it had about a $30 billion loss. That's about, it's over 10% of the whole market cap, global market cap. So that's pretty significant. What do we have here for the Bitcoin dominance? 48.1%. Pretty high.
It's about what it was last week as well, though.
Yeah, not much change. All right, on to Blocktivity. We have some news here. This week, EOS has launched into first place. And I say launched because it's really gone up huge. I'm not sure what's going on there. Are they stress testing the network, or is that real activity? It's just a bit bizarre to me. Certainly, it doesn't have nearly as much stuff happening on it as Ethereum would in terms of projects. So it's, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Why it has such high activity. I mean, even over BitShares, that's a bit strange. You can see it's at 0.7%, whereas BitShares at 0.38%. I think pretty much they're very similar in their capability at this point in time. EOS still, I believe, hasn't implemented sharding yet, so that's down the road, but what they call sharding, it's different than Ethereum sharding a bit, I think, but probably something similar. Ethereum is, as usual, pegged. Today it's at 35,000 unconfirmed transactions, so higher than what it's been the past few months again. Still maintaining a pretty high load. Not sure what else is going on here of interest. Probably nothing. So, yeah, EOS at number 1. All right, on to our topic number 2, the MadeSafe update. Here's what's going on this week. David, Viv, Gabriel, Nick, and Francis have been representing MadeSafe and speaking about the Safe Network at the Decentralized Web Summit in San Francisco. Now, that Decentralized Web Summit, I believe, is being hosted by MadeSafe. So quite interesting. They've got quite a few really big movers and shakers at that summit. Number 2, we've refreshed the MadeSafe website on a temporary basis. Now, this is the MadeSafe.net website that they're talking about there. That's not their new website, which is safenetwork.tech, or I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. I'll have to look again. So, number 3, there has been some press activity with their latest Medium post and an article in computing.co.uk. Number 4, having applied for MozFest 2018, we are looking forward to hearing back from the organizers. See the registration status here. MozFest. I believe that's a Mozilla festival thing, and Mozilla makes Firefox and Firefox products. Has nothing to do with mosquitoes. Josh has written a summary. This is number 5. Josh has written a summary of the web IDs and RDF data, and we've detailed posts on the new APIs and how RDF data is being stored on the network. So put a Medium post out about that, I believe. Number 6, the team has been looking to improve our project management for Safe App Java and set up milestones for Safe App C# and Safe App Mobile. Number 7, DevHub will soon see more developer guides for desktop and mobile apps. Number 8, I am number 8? Yes, I am. There's been more work on the Parsec FFI with tests having been written, the API defined, and implementation started. Hooray! And number 9, the Crust team are redesigning Safe Crypto to make it more flexible and reliable for all other libraries to access. I'm just going to read through the marketing information this week. As some of you may have already noticed, we have revised MadeSafe.net. This is a temporary site to bring the site more in line with the new SafeNetwork.tech site. Let's see, I was right, SafeNetwork.tech. And reduce the duplication of information across platforms. The current design style will act as a stopgap, but we feel it more accurately represents the vision of the company and our continual push towards Safe Network branding. As previously mentioned, this division between MadeSafe as a company and the Safe Network as the platform is an important distinction, as although we are currently the primary developers bringing the network to fruition, we hope that in the future we will not be. This is a community project, and we want to create that distinction. The Safe Network is for the people, by the people. I'm just going to pop over there and have a look, because I haven't seen what they've done with that yet. Let's just see what it looks like here. Okay, they've changed the color scheme. Oop. Let's just scroll down. Intro, Safe Network. I'm probably on the mobile version here because I've got my font size so large. I'm just going to shrink that a bit. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm not. Okay. So it looks a bit more like a mobile sort of layout there. And it's much smaller. So I think because before on MadeSafe.net they had a lot of Safe Network kind of details, and that's kind of now all on SafeNetwork.tech. So they've probably been able to streamline this a fair bit and remove some of that stuff. All right, back to the update. Decentralized Web Summit. So this week, much of the focus has been in sunny San Francisco as David, Viv, Nick, Gabriel, and Francis have been spreading the safe word. That might be confused with something. No, this is not a... No, I'm not going to say that. Safe at the Decentralized Web Summit following a successful networking event on Tuesday. See pictures below with Tim Berners-Lee. The team presented in the San Francisco Mint and to audiences around the world via the live stream on the Safe Network, and recently our work with Solid. You can watch it all back, so they've got a YouTube video there. Once the team returns to sunny, in parentheses, unlikely, Scotland, we will share their findings, news, and plans, but until then, there are a few pictures from the summit so far. So I've got a nice little intro there. There's David there. And it's like there's a talk. There's David again, sitting down over there. Scrolling down. David again. Now, I'm not sure who's this guy. Is that Berners-Lee there? I don't know. It looks maybe a bit like him. I'm probably confused, though. Anyway, in response to our presence at the Decentralized Web Summit, there has been some great press activity. First off, read our latest Medium post as we focus on the global visions theme of the Decentralized Web Summit. David has also been featured in computing.co.uk. It's the recent series from the summit. And last here in the marketing update is MozFest. As some of you will be glad to hear, we applied for MozFest 2018 that will take place October 26th through the 28th in London. Anyone can follow the registration process on GitHub, where we expect to hear from the organizers at some point in September. What would be the title of our presentation, you ask? And they've got here, Taking Back the Web, set up your first safe website in under a minute. Oh, so that's nice. All right, so things are really happening, rocking over there at the MadeSafe group. We've got a lot of interesting things happening. I'm really excited by this Decentralized Web Summit. I reckon it's attracted a lot of really interesting people. And I mean, Tim Berners-Lee, of course, he's one of the creators of the internet as it is. Really, really famous guy. And probably attracts a lot of other, just by him attending, probably would have attracted a lot of other interesting people to the summit. And that's really great news for MadeSafe. I'm sure that other decentralized projects were represented there too, but MadeSafe really is, in my view, is the king of them all. So we'll see what happens. All right, on to the news segment. Our first article this week, UBS. It's a study, I guess, by UBS. Bitcoin must hit 213,000 US dollars to replace US money supply. A funny picture there with the dollar bill, George Washington holding his head in awe, looking at Bitcoin. Zurich-based investment bank and financial services company Union Bank of Switzerland has said that the Bitcoin price must hit nearly $213,000 to replace U.S. money supply. According to Bloomberg, a new report by UBS suggests that Bitcoin cannot currently be considered money or a viable asset as its versatility is stymied by the capacity constraints of the Bitcoin network. Yeah, so I mean that's I believe I did a calculation earlier, and that would put the market cap of Bitcoin at around 4.5 trillion US dollars. Just think about that for a minute. I don't see that ever happening. I don't think Bitcoin is going to be the ultimate money. I mean, it's a one-trick pony in my view, and well, I just don't know. They'll have to keep adding new bits onto it to make it work. They'll have to keep hard forking it. It's just got too many problems. But it's an interesting look at that. I mean, if any crypto is going to basically replace just the U.S. money supply, not including the total world money supply, then that particular crypto coin will have to hit kind of these kind of levels in the $4 trillion area. I mean, that's a bit mind-boggling to think about. Of course, none of that is going to happen in the next 10 years. It's going to take a long time. But it's very interesting to think about, I reckon. So, next article. New York Stock Exchange operator announces new global digital assets platform plans Bitcoin futures launch. Intercontinental Exchange, or ICE, the operator of 23 leading global exchanges, including the New York Stock Exchange, has announced plans to create a Microsoft cloud-powered, open and regulated global ecosystem for digital assets, according to a press release published August the 3rd. The operator of NYSE, ICE, is forming a new company dubbed Bakkt and will work alongside a marquee group of enterprises that includes BCG, Microsoft, Starbucks, and others to create the new ecosystem. The intention is to create an integrated platform that enables consumers, merchants, and institutional clients to buy, sell, store, and spend digital assets on a seamless global network, the press release notes. The first use cases will be for trading and conversion of Bitcoin against fiat currencies, which ICE notes is currently, quote, the most liquid cryptocurrency. This conversion into fiat will enable consumers to purchase any item at their local Starbucks in what will be crypto's debut with the popular chain. The ecosystem is expected to include federally regulated markets and warehousing. Warehousing, I reckon, means custody, alongside merchant and consumer applications. So there's a quote here. As an initial component of the Bakkt offering, Intercontinental Exchange's U.S.-based futures exchange and clearinghouse plan to launch a one-day physically delivered Bitcoin contract along with physical warehousing in November 2018, subject to CFTC review and approval. These regulated venues will establish new protocols for managing the specific security and settlement requirements of digital currencies. In addition, the clearinghouse plans to create a separate guarantee fund that will be funded by Bakkt. By mobilizing trusted market infrastructure, ICE says it intends to design Bakkt to support transaction flows in the $270 billion digital asset marketplace and facilitate secure and efficient evolution. Investors in the Bakkt ecosystem are expected to include Microsoft's venture capital arm, Mike Novogratz Galaxy Digital, Alan Howard, Pantera Capital, and Susquehanna International Group LLP, among others. The news confirmed sources in May that had suggested the NYSE operator was considering launching physically delivered Bitcoin future contracts distinct from those currently offered on the CME and CBOE that are ultimately settled in fiat. Analysts at the time that physical delivery Analysts said at the time that physical delivery would open the floodgates to institutional capital and potentially result in some big price moves in the crypto markets. This chimes with Mike Novogratz's recent estimation that a trusted name custodian, such as a Japanese bank or HSBC or ICE or Goldman Sachs, is what would ultimately allow institutional investors to feel comfortable. Well, folks, this is really huge news, I reckon. This came out about 11, 12 hours ago, so I expect we're going to start to see some Bitcoin price moves over the next few months because of this. This is going to be happening soon. They're saying November. I'm not sure if that's realistic or not, but that's pretty big news, I think. Really big news for Bitcoin, but the whole crypto space.
Be interesting to see where crypto is at the end of the year, like it was last year. It was on its way up, and the end of the year last year, everything passed about Thanksgiving-ish. Started doing its big run up and stuff. It'll be interesting to see if this has a ginormous effect on the total market cap once they actually get this going, because it'll be pretty indicative what the actual interest is by institutional investors.
Yeah.
And considering the year-on-year, changes in price and stuff going from December of 2016 to December of 2017, it was a pretty amazing, return on your investment for that year. And it'll be interesting to see what it is this year as we get closer towards the end of the year. We're in the back half of it now, so
indeed,
time will tell. It's been pretty lackluster so far this year, though, but a lot of interesting potentials.
Yeah, there's a lot of development happening in the background, and goes with our next news article here as well. Germany's second largest stock exchange to launch ICO platform and multilateral crypto trading. Germany's second largest stock exchange, the Stuttgart Börse, has revealed plans to develop a new platform for initial coin offerings, as well as a multilateral crypto trading venue, FinExtra reported on August 2nd. The German Börse, which had a trading volume of 81 billion euros, about $95 billion, across all asset classes in 2017, had already this May unveiled a prototype of its zero-fee crypto trading app for the public dubbed Bison, slated to be released in September. Now the Börse is setting its sights on the primary and secondary markets by developing both an ICO platform and a multilateral regulated crypto trading venue. The primary ICO platform will facilitate digital token issuance, corporate financing, and the representation of rights and assets, with the Börse aiming to boost their chances of success by making them tradable on its secondary venue. According to FinExtra, Alexander Hoppner, CEO at Börse Stuttgart, said that the move to develop crypto trading platform is a response to, quote, demand from both retail and institutional investors for a regulated and reliable environment for trading with cryptocurrencies. Noting, quote, at the trading venue, tokens issued via our ICO platform can be traded on the secondary market. This is an important success factor for ICOs, end quote. Maybe there's a mistranslation there from German. Hoppner added that the Börse aims to provide, quote, central services along the value chain for digital assets all under one roof, end quote, and is therefore developing a full-service infrastructure that will include safe custody solutions for both emerging digital assets and established cryptos such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bison is being developed by local data analytics startup Soa Labs, which the Börse acquired back in December 2017 as part of its roadmap to fulfill an ambitious digital strategy. Beyond cryptocurrencies, international stock exchanges are looking to integrate the underlying blockchain technology to increase the efficiency and security of their operations. Cointelegraph recently reported on a detailed analysis into the global implementation of blockchain for stock transactions to date that was undertaken by South Korea's Financial Supervisory Service. On the basis of its findings, the FSS called the local regulatory agencies and companies to work towards developing an integrated blockchain system to innovate domestic stock markets. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty big. If it's the second largest stock exchange in Germany, and they're really gung-ho about this stuff, I can't see this slowing down, folks. It's just accelerating. Our next article, Coinbase adds British pound support, customers to buy, sell crypto via UK banks. Major U.S. crypto exchange and wallet Coinbase has started rolling out British pound support, according to an official blog post on August 1st. The new feature will enable Coinbase customers with UK bank accounts to conduct faster transfers, letting customers buy and sell crypto for pounds within the same day. As Coinbase points out in their announcement prior to adding pound support, the process of buying or selling crypto for fiat took several days for the company's UK customers, requiring them to first convert their crypto into euros and then into pounds via international wire transfer. The feature is currently available to only some existing companies, with the service promising to gradually be rolled out for all British customers in the coming weeks. In their announcement, Coinbase notes that the company has been working on adding pound support over the last few months. In March, the company was granted an e-money license for fiat money operations from the UK's Financial Conduct Authority. It also gained access to the UK's Faster Payments Scheme, a UK banking initiative aimed at reducing transaction times. So, yes, that's great news for people who use Coinbase and want to trade in pounds. I think that's going to... There's a lot of people in the UK who own some crypto, so pretty significant. Our next article, Goldman Sachs Investment Strategy Group, Crypto Mania, a risk to stable 2018 outlook. Bitcoin and unsteady cryptocurrency mania are one of the 6 factors that threaten Goldman Sachs' 2018 market outlook, according to a July 2018 report by the Goldman Sachs Investment Strategy Group. The report, entitled Unsteady as She Goes, highlights cryptocurrency mania as one of several factors that could affect their initial market outlook for this year. Other factors listed included terrorism, the rise of populism, rising geopolitical tensions, and an increasing threat of cyber attacks. The investment bank expects cryptocurrency markets to further decline in the future, given our view that these cryptocurrencies do not fulfill any of the 3 traditional roles of currency. According to Goldman Sachs, crypto is neither a medium of exchange, nor a unit of measurement, nor a store of value. Now, so here's where the article turns into the Goldman Sachs news here turns into a propaganda. I mean, it's just like, where do they get off saying these things? It doesn't even make any sense. It's not rational at all to say those things. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I'm just saying, more stuff from the commoners of finance, trying to tell us where we should stand, I guess, with our financial investment strategies.
Yeah,
Next
they're
article.
Like, don't buy those cryptos. We don't control them.
That's right.
Whereas we do control the fiat, at least part of it.
You're affecting our bottom line.
Yes.
You're also affecting our market share and how much we actually own of everything. We don't like that either.
You're making our investment returns look bad. Don't invest in that thing. Don't make money on your own. Use ours. Make what we decide you should make. Geez. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, so the next one.
Our next news, KPMG Report, U.S. blockchain investment in 2018 to date has outstripped 2017's total. Fresh analysis from KPMG shows that blockchain investment in the U.S. in the first half of 2018 has exceeded the overall total seen in 2017, according to its biannual, quote, the Pulse of FinTech, end quote, report released today, July 31st. KPMG is one of the world's largest auditing firms, collectively known as the Big Four, alongside Deloitte, Ernst & Young, and PwC. KPMG suggests that blockchain tech is moving beyond experimentation to draw significant attention from investors in the first 2 quarters of 2018, noting that investments were typically more focused on experienced firms and consortia that sought additional rounds of funding rather than on market entrants. The report singles out peer-to-peer payments from Circle's $110 million round led by mining hardware giant Bitmain and $77 million for crypto wallet Ledger in France as among the good-sized funding rounds in Q1 2018. It highlighted that the U.S. has already seen total investment in blockchain outstrip the annual total posted in 2017. Other key blockchain takeaways from the report include the fact that the banking consortium R3 has expanded its mandate to include insurance companies, while major insurance consortium B3I has reorganized in order to commercialize its outputs. New blockchain consortia have continued to crop up, in particular those that are focused on developing blockchain-powered supply chain management solutions. As regards initial coin offerings, KPMG notes that the industry continues to flourish despite high-profile blanket bans on the fundraising model by countries such as China. The report draws attention to Cayman Islands-based EOS developer Block One, completing its year-long token sale in Q1 2018 to raise an industry record-breaking $4 billion. The report also highlights impressive investments in UK-based challenger bank Revolt, $250 million this April, which added an option to transact in crypto in December 2017, and brokerage app Robinhood, which raked in one of the largest deals in the first half of 2018, $363 million in May, to expand its crypto trading platform US-wide. In the wider fintech landscape, KPMG indicates that US-based fintech firms have seen a surge in venture capital funding exceeding $5 billion in the first half of 2018. Across VC, private equity, and mergers and acquisitions, global fintech performance has been exceptional, exceeding the 2017 annual total and well on pace to exceed 2015's peak. A report released by Crunchbase News in February anticipated that global VC fundraising for blockchain-based companies is well on track to exceed 2017 figures, noting at the time that the U.S. was ahead of other countries in investment figures. This is like total money, folks. This isn't like just money invested into the market where you can see it on CoinMarketCap and whatever. This is just total money, I think, in companies around. So it includes private investments as well. Fascinating stuff, people. I think, it's behind the scenes. We just keep covering this on the show, but behind the scenes, so much is happening, and it's going to scare those bears far, far away. They're going to go hibernate for a long time, I think. Our next article, new Gallup poll shows only 2% of U.S. investors own Bitcoin, but 26% are intrigued. The results of a Wells Fargo Gallup poll published July 27th finds that only 2% of U.S. investors own Bitcoin, but 26% are intrigued by it. The online survey was conducted May 7th through the 14th, 2018, amongst U.S. investors with more than $10,000 in stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. The results show that the overwhelming majority of investors who have already heard of Bitcoin will not be investing in the leading cryptocurrency anytime soon, with 72% saying they, quote, have no interest in ever buying Bitcoin. According to the data from the poll, even though 96% of investors had heard of Bitcoin, only about 3 in 10, or 29%, say they know something about digital currencies, with 67% saying they have heard of them but don't know much about them. Even though the initial intention behind Bitcoin involves its use as a means of payment or electronic cash, its high volatility has made it more popular as a high-risk, high-reward investment than as an online currency. Although acceptance of Bitcoin for electronic payments is growing, the results of the survey show that 75% of the respondents view an investment in Bitcoin to be very risky, with 23% saying it was somewhat risky. These statistics on gender and age show that young men are the most likely demographic to say they know something about Bitcoin or other digital currencies. The report also states that, related to the age differences, investors with less than $100,000 in investment, who tend to be younger, are more likely to be familiar with the innovation than those with higher asset levels. A study on Americans and cryptocurrencies commissioned by Finder.com in February showed that 8%, or around 26 million of Americans, have already purchased cryptocurrency. A recent report on the top 10 crypto projects that raised a minimum of $1 million in 2017 revealed that, on average, each showed a return on investment of over 136,000%. So, to me, meanwhile, people are slowly getting into it. This is very promising. I think, this poll. If 26% are intrigued, I think, as we start to get more integration into the mainstream fintech area, those 26% are going to more than likely, eventually start to invest or look into the ICO markets and whatnot. It's just more great news, I reckon. And our last news article for the week. Openbazaar users can now trade 1,500 cryptocurrencies with no KYC. This Friday, the decentralized marketplace Openbazaar, that's an open source project, by the way, announced the release of its 2.2.2 version, which adds a variety of new features and improvements. One particular feature added to the latest Openbazaar release allows users to trade 1,500 plus cryptocurrencies with no fees. Moreover, all of the swaps are peer-to-peer trades between two parties with no KYC process. The Openbazaar development team has released a new version of the platform, adds a few new features and bug fixes Version 2.2.2 was released on July 27th, and the application allows for peer-to-peer cryptocurrency trades with a vast quantity of different digital assets. The developers explain the release includes two major protocol improvements within the Openbazaar environment. The first is the ability for users offering to trade coins to mark up or discount their price. Instead of only being able to offer a trade at market price, they can choose to add a markup, which will automatically increase the price to the buyer based on the percentage they choose. So there's a quote here. They can also choose to offer a discount from market price. The software constantly is updating the market price of the cryptocurrencies involved in the trade, and it will add the markup or discount at the moment the trade happens. The announcement further details that the second feature includes the major update to how many cryptocurrencies can be traded on Openbazaar. The development team notes that prior to 2.2.2 release, there were about 60 different coins available to trade. Openbazaar has implemented price feeds from the data site CoinMarketCap, and there are now 1,500 plus coins that can be traded. So it's like a GIF here showing the trading works here. You can create a listing to do a trade. They're doing Bitcoin to Ripple. And they're choosing the type of good, cryptocurrency. Openbazaar, you can trade anything. It's not just for cryptocurrencies. You could, trade shoes. You can trade computers. You can trade fertilizer. Whatever you want. It's pretty much open platform. But yeah, they've built in a lot of different little features here. So with cryptocurrency, you can choose, I guess, amongst the cryptocurrencies that they're allowing to trade on there at the moment. Their software allows for. That's quite interesting. So then there's another quote. If you want to see a specific coin available, download Openbazaar and start the process of creating a cryptocurrency listing. The Openbazaar developers detail. Quote, as always, there are no fees to pay and no accounts to sign up for. It's a direct swap of cryptocurrencies between you and the other party. And if you choose a moderated payment, highly recommended, then there's a third party available in case of a dispute. So if it doesn't go right, I guess, then the moderator can put the nix on things, or I guess that's kind of like maybe an escrow or something system. I'll have to look into this. I've looked at Openbazaar a few times, but I haven't quite figured out how to get it all going. But I'm gonna have to get it going and have a look and see what's happening there. It's really the development just keeps going with it. It's getting pretty good, I reckon. The cryptocurrency community seemed to like the latest Openbazaar announcement across social media and digital asset-focused forums. The biggest plus for most digital currency proponents is the means to buy and sell coins without fees. But people really appreciated the ability to trade without all the annoying KYC AML processes tethered to more than 90% of exchanges out there today. So, wow. I think that's really great. I like to see these decentralized exchanges grow and develop, and I think it really is the future as we see more technology integrated into these decentralized platforms. It's going to get just better and better.
I think it'll be interesting to see when there's a source or a way to go, do the exchanges and conversions between the cryptocurrencies without having to be on the exchange, without having to do the KYC information exchange to open up your account and all that interesting stuff, to where you don't have the limitations that most of the major exchanges have. One of the things I'm kind of interested in seeing is how many currency, or crypto pairs are involved. Are you able to go straight from one obscure coin to another obscure coin without having to use an intermediary known and popular coin, to go and facilitate the transaction? Basically, a good example is picking, some random coin, let's say just randomly picking out of the second 200, just say you've got Enigma, switching from Enigma coin to Polymath coin, they're both in the second 100, definitely not, immediately known coins. Some people will definitely know what they are, and I just randomly picked a couple of them. The question is can you go and exchange directly, between those two coins, which may not have a market or an exchange in common. Taking a look at the various different exchanges and stuff. For example, if we were to look at our Polymath example, we've got Bittrex and Huobi and KuCoins. So it's pretty on some pretty big exchanges for that one. And then you go and you look at your Enigma coins, and it's on like Huobi, Liqui, Binance. But if you don't happen to have an account set up on those, if you can do the exchange through this new Openbazaar or some other decentralized exchange that has we've got the top 1,500 cryptos on here. Exchange between the two of them as you see fit. And, getting some activity. I think once there's a place that seems to get a lot of activity, you'll start seeing it become the center of attention for, crypto exchanges and stuff. And like you say, I think it's just the beginning of some really interesting times. And I would love to see a, open source, like Openbazaar and whatnot, crypto exchange that is able to go and exchange between any two pairs that you feel like going and exchanging, and knock it out. Let's go. And
I guess
it'd be really interesting, I think.
The issue is liquidity, and in that case, that means finding enough buyers for whatever it is you want to sell. So, in time, as crypto becomes more popular, and some of these decentralized exchanges will probably, as crypto becomes more popular, it will float all boats. It's the rising of the tide, floats all boats. So, the decentralized exchanges, their volume's bound to pick up. It's really, I just hope that we don't have an overwhelming explosion, Cambrian type explosion of new exchanges that would dilute out the liquidity. That would be a bad thing. Openbazaar is a really, it's got some good developers behind it, I hear, and it's really actively developed. It is open source. It's on GitHub, so the code can all be reviewed and looked at. So it's big thumbs up for a lot of things. Of course, there's a lot of decentralized exchanges, but some of them are more like there's a lot of Ethereum token decentralized exchanges that give you a lot of features. They show graphs and things, and they're quite nice. But they're specific to Ethereum. And I think with Openbazaar and some of these other exchanges like this, they're not so fancy with the trade. I mean, you're just basically doing a direct exchange. You can't set limits and all that sort of thing yet, I don't think. So, I mean, I could be wrong.
I think that
one,
I think with limits,
there, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, with limits and stops and all that stuff, I think once there's enough volume, then I think that's something that they'll probably build into the platform, or a platform will, that has that available will really probably get a lot of good traction. It'll be interesting to see, what sort of, options come available in the next couple of years. It's not completely,
I reckon
open and running, but it's close, It'll be pretty interesting 5 years from now.
For what they've done with Openbazaar here is the platform is able to pull data from CoinMarketCap now, so it can get current prices and stuff. So that's a big step, and then they'll have to incorporate the graphs of prices and all that stuff. I mean, CoinMarketCap, they've recently released a professional API now. I didn't cover that in the news, but they've released a professional API, and it's not very expensive, really, for a company or something to buy that, and then they can access a huge amount of records going back 5 years, and they with that kind of data, you can do all kinds of things for analysis and stuff that would be useful for an exchange that wanted to really give a good experience to the user. So I don't know. I think we're just going to keep seeing more development here, and it's exciting to see it happen. And we're going to keep covering it here on the Safe Crypto Show. So I guess that's all I have. Do you have anything else, Mike?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank my co-host and our viewers for joining the show today. I hope you found the episode informative and helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share our video with others. And tune in next week for another interesting episode.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.